Hello, everybody,
and welcome back to the Rockin' Beards podcast. It's your boy HSR.
Sup, it's Syd.
Christen Riggs.
Yes, that's her over there. So before we jump on into the podcast today, we are going to do a little bit of housekeeping. Of course, you can check in the description when the episode starts and you can skip this. But if you did, you would skip the part where we give some love to Lindell Williams and Mozart, our patrons, because they're awesome. We'll give some more information at the end of the video about that. We also want to show some love to our favorite comment of last week's video where we talked about Slipknot's Volume 3.
The subliminal verses.
Thank you, Sydney.
You're welcome.
And this was again from Thuggish Ruggish Bone because as much as we love Lindell, we got the two comments, and this is the one we chose to read.
Because it's a follow-up comment. We need to make that clear.
It's very true. We wanted to start a dialogue, so maybe Thuggish Ruggish and us, we go in and we just talk for 6 weeks in a row. Maybe not. We're not committing here.
Discourse.
About words we won't say, it's def a fib, but it fits with the theme of a broken people who grew up in a cruel world. Okay, so if you go back to the last review and check this part of the podcast, you'll know what the part one of this comment is. We essentially said that it was the end of his statement was a fib. Anyway, but it fits the theme of broken people who grow up in a cruel world, although they say as children we are more resilient than the adults, but I think they are resilient only as far as you people teach them the techniques to work with their mental and emotional problems. Sort out the problems at the time they pop up. But John Lennon once said the song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is not about LSD. Come on, John.
He's right, it's not.
Come on, John. But we all know. I'm agreeing with you, Thuggish. But what it's about. Same with Korn. When they say their name doesn't mean anything. They probably just fronting. So the implication put forward by Thuggish Ruggish Bone, and if you have an opinion, comment section is a great place to put it. Hell, you may join this combo. He's implying that if you look at the way the Beatles pretended that their song was not about drugs, maybe Korn was pretending that their name wasn't about that thing. That's the illusion here. I don't really have an opinion. I just thought it was a cool comment. Syd, do you have an opinion?
No.
Awesome. So on that.
Wait.
Oh, do you have
There's
an opinion?
another person here.
Shit. Sometimes I forget. I'm sorry.
It's like small in the corner.
Thank you for your comment.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
All right.
I'm sorry.
So
next time I'll ignore her too.
yeah. We'll announce a new contest soon. That's gonna happen, and I think we should start the show. So, Mr. Sydney, why don't you introduce the album that they know we're gonna talk about today?
Did we announce this last week already?
No, but it's in the thumbnail
yeah.
and the description and the stuff, so it's kind of weird to announce it maybe. But
So this week we're doing Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Oh! No, we're not.
Spoilers,
Whoa.
just kidding. No, we're doing the Foo Fighters, The Color and the Shape.
Which is basically the same thing. I'm kidding, internet.
It's better. But,
Subscribers,
just
zero.
joking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we're doing that
some
album.
Davey Grohl, Davey G.
Somebody requested that on one of our rap reviews, which I thought was cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And because we want to show you that we care about requests here, the first request we got for a rock album, we did. Look at that. So,
It was Oasis, right?
Oh, well, that didn't count. That was like this weird pocket of life. Like there's this group that cares about us doing Oasis.
It was Oasis again, right?
Yes.
Because we've done them twice now
the
by
first
request.
one since our revamp. A real revamp. And we've been running. Okay, and who cares? It's not really the important part of anything here. Syd is right. Fine, he wins. You have it on camera. Woo, Syd! Okay.
I'm pretty happy about it.
So that was a request, and I thought it was cool because I really like Concrete and Gold. It was the first full Foo Fighters album that I'd ever listened to. I mean, I knew a lot of singles. It was impossible. You can't be a person and not know the singles because they're just everywhere.
I had someone tell me that they couldn't name a Guns N' Roses song today.
Which to me is more plausible than not knowing a Foo Fighters song. Putting it out there. I mean,
I felt like it was a fib.
I mean, then there's always the fun fact of those 1,000 musicians playing "Learn to Fly" to get the Foo Fighters to come to Italy, and I believe they did. Anyway, it's just there's a lot of fun when you look into Davey G and his crew. You know, like it's just some good times in terms of awesome music and shit. And so all I have to say, this is my second full Foo Fighters album, so I was eager to give that a listen. How do you know them, Sydney? Why don't you tell them about your connection?
I mean, like anyone else, I have known the Foo Fighters for a very long time. I bought this album when I was 14 and on vacation in the Mediterranean paradise of Malta, if you've ever heard of it.
It's a place.
It's a tiny little island off the coast of Sicily, and it's a country, but it's smaller than Montreal, which is where we live. So that's cool.
You should look it up. It's an interesting country.
Got a lot of really cool history. Played a big part in like both world wars, believe it or not. Anyway, Foo Fighters are good. Your turn.
Okay, I already went. All right, Christen.
You done?
Sid.
Yeah, I'm done.
You sure?
Totally.
Okay.
Anyway, so when I was listening to it in Malta,
Yeah.
just continue.
All right. You sure? So, I've heard them a lot on the radio, and I had somehow on the album of the greatest hits, so I'd listen to that. And then what was not the newest one, but the album before that?
Echoes,
With
Silence,
the
Patience,
Muddy Waters
and
song.
Grace.
No.
Sonic
something.
Highways.
That one. There we go. I just don't remember it, but I actually, I bought the physical copy too. Because I did that when the store still existed.
Sorry, I just want to know, do you guys still buy physical CDs? Like, does anyone do that? So curious.
Yeah, the HMV closed here and everywhere. So
everywhere
just
closed.
Buy
you
physical.
can still get them on Amazons and stuff. I know. You can
The physical copy?
Yeah, some.
Heard it a lot. It's been there back and forth. I've never really listened to it, so this is the first time sitting down and listening to an album, like paying attention to it. From the Foo Fighters, yes, ever, clearly. So yeah, there we go.
All right, and what do you think about the cover and the title?
You guys go ahead. I don't know.
I don't actually remember what the cover to this one looks like.
It's
really nondescript. Yeah, right.
It's a cover. Might mean something
Foo
that
Fighters
it's color
and
and shape. It
It's
has
got,
shapes.
The blue background, some random geometric shapes, just balls and lines. It's got, I don't know, it's probably got some purpose to it, or
It's
maybe
got
it
the
was
color
just
and the
random.
shape.
It looks
Foo
very
Fighters in red.
1997.
It is. It's one of the ones I've never really remembered, but I also don't. They feel like album covers is the thing I've remembered the Foo Fighters ever for. Like any of their covers, really. Even the
One of them has a gun on it.
Sure.
You remember a gun.
But really, I remember the songs more, and I could not tell you what albums most of them are on. Still, that's fine. I do like the title, the color, and the shape. It's got this, because it's just, pretty much anything you're describing is likely going to have, a color and a shape to it, right? So it's kind of just, this vague description of everything through the most non-linear way of putting it. So
Or a shade and a shape.
that's true. And I know that this album was supposed to mean more because the first album was complete nonsense, and they were like, Dave, just imagine if you actually wrote some songs that meant something. So he took it a little more seriously on this project.
I believe too. I could be wrong, but I think this was the first album that he recorded with a band. I think the first Foo Fighters record was all Dave Grohl on every instrument, and this one is where the Foo Fighters became more than just Dave Grohl.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, because I read Wikipedia, and a lot of the guys who recorded the album quit in the process of this album coming out, and so all the guys who ended up going on tour, let's say, to support the album aren't necessarily the same. Not all of them. One of them is still from the beginning with Dave,
Is that Taylor? Is that the drummer, Taylor?
I could not tell you. I'm sorry.
His name. He's awesome. I love him. What's his name? God damn it.
You love him so
Anyway,
much you don't know.
So that
who
was
he is.
pretty
I love his beyond
interesting,
names.
just to watch the amount of turnover that went around dealing with this project. But yeah, so this was also the predominant amount of the music written for the first project, as I understand it, was also written while Nirvana was still around and whatnot. So this was really, there were 3 songs written after Nirvana. So the music was repurposed and re-recorded over the period after, but this was his first effort to make new music with a goal of not returning to the previous form of what he'd done on the last album. And that was all my context and backstory. All that to say, Doll is the first song. Alright, Christy, how do you feel about this song?
Oh no, me.
Yeah, because people care what you think.
I liked it. I think it's a very good opener. It's sad, but it's cool. I know. What a great description. No, I don't know. I like it. Doll me up in my bed. Like I didn't expect, I don't know, from the title. I didn't expect it.
Okay.
What a great
take from it?
What did I take from it? Deep sadness and intrigue.
Fair enough.
No, it's a very
deep.
I liked it. I thought it was an interesting way to open the album. I didn't expect that from from everything that I've heard from the Greatest Hits album.
Fair enough.
It was like, oh, it's nice.
So what did you give it?
4.5.
All right, and you Mr. Sydney?
I like it. It's fine. I've always kind of skipped this one. It feels like it was almost a song and it wasn't quite a song, so they stuck it at the beginning.
Well, it feels like an intro more than like something that you're gonna put on.
Yeah.
It's like an opening.
I like the melody. I like how he goes for that weird note. Like, I've never been so scared. Like, I like that note.
I like that a lot.
But yeah, it's always been kind of nondescript for me. It's a 4.
Fair enough. I mean, he feels so broken, right? Like, right at the start of the album. And I thought that was really interesting because it comes in, it's not loud or anything, and it's almost not even really rock. It's just a soft, like, quiet strumming type feel as he's singing. And then it picks up a little bit about halfway through, like, instruments kick in and whatnot, but it's still soft. It's still, like, whatever. And he's going, and all the time we've shared, I've never been so scared. Doll me up in my bad luck, I'll meet you there. And then I wish I'd never taken the stare. I wasn't quite prepared. Doll me up in my bad luck, etc. Ben, if you know that he's a newly divorced person who's sad about how, the rock star life ruined his marriage, I guess it adds some context into where he's coming from, but it really just has him in this, like, fragile emotional state. He's lost somebody. It's pretty clear here.
Probably pretty relevant to this record that he had also just experienced the suicide of someone very close to him.
Yeah, but in interviews, he's made it clear that a lot of the associations to him are not so the case on this project, but
emotionally
in life.
and in terms of I think the melodramatic, for lack of a better term, way that this record presents itself. Not melodramatic, but like melancholy, I guess.
Well, I mean, the way Dave put it is he arranged the songs, and a lot of this is because Dave speaks freely, apparently, about what everything means, which makes my job fucking easy. So Dave arranged all of these songs to play out in the way a therapy session would be playing out. So here we have him at the start of his therapy, and I knew this, which probably biased and changed everything for me, so I don't know if that counts, but that happened. But when I pictured this therapy session with this song coming in, it's like this person who's finally let their guard down because they're just so broken, and the way he vocally expresses these words, and it's like they're just the doll me up in my bad luck, like that is kind of what you would expect a therapy session to really translate into. Like, it's all of your worst life decisions and choices, and you're almost having to live through all that stuff. So with all that in mind, I thought it was super cool and super fitting. But all that, it was really pretty. It was like this melancholy, soft, pretty little opening thing that, if you knew what track 2 was before you're going in, you're just so confused when it does its transition into the next song. But it ends up being really like a great, almost prelude to the following song. So I give it a 4.5 on 5. Monkey Wrench is that following song. Don't wanna be a monkey wrench. Listen, when you hear that bassing and you hear the 90s, and you feel that drum patterns and the 90s just pops out at you, you gotta understand, I love this part of the 90s, right? And almost everything sounds like it was either inspired by this or this was part of like whatever. I don't really know. But there's a lot of songs that came in the 2000s even that kind of have that feel to them.
I mean, it's interesting because, look, obviously bands like Blink-182 and Offspring and Green Day were already doing this, right?
Oh,
but
right.
to have, because this is so unlike anything else that the Foo Fighters, I think, have ever done.
Maybe.
Like, this song is so punk rock.
But, like, I'm not trying to, like, for those who are real music purists and shit, I'm not trying to say anybody was actually influenced by things. But I've just, the way they delivered it, I guess it's a by numbers track.
It's not. I'm not saying it's a by numbers
No,
track.
I'm saying, but the kind of by numbers track that breaks all the rules and turns it into its, like, own unique thing, but manages to do every staple of the thing proper, down to that crazy... He does the whole bridge thing in one breath in the studio, and he cops out in live performances with the classical mic to the audience trick, so that they just sing it, which is probably still doper for the performance. But Dave doesn't really do it live because he'd rather have you sing it.
Having said that, just before you question Dave Grohl's vocal ability
Nobody's
live,
questioning it.
he can do Best of You acoustic.
Nope, nobody was
It's
questioning
fucking
that.
incredible. Oh my god. I'm
just
telling the audience. Don't question it.
Best of You is a beautiful song, though. But Monkey Wrench is a cool song, too, honestly. Like, you just get the sense of, like, youthful craziness going on with it, right? Lyrically, like, what have I done with innocence? It disappeared with time. It never made much sense. The first of, like, one of many of those rhymes where you can tell Dave Grohl was rhyming to rhyme sometimes, like Adolescent Resident, like Indecent Accident. I'm not hating, I'm just saying, like, some of the rhymes are a little bit corny, but you know what? I can forgive it, because the way he delivers it and the passion in this guy's voice, it is like this spirit and this energy flows through Dave that is wonderful to listen to, and you almost can overlook flaws that other people would, like, be clipped on, because he makes it sound cool, where other people might not, you know?
The riffs are cool, too.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
really dig the riffs in this song. And I love how it starts just with a really long, like, pause. And it's not your average, like, 4-beat pause. Like, it's a weird pause.
And then it just kicks in. Yeah, you're right. It was really cool.
It's 4.5 for me.
I give it a 5, man.
It's a good song. It's not my favorite.
Kristen hates it.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, no, hate is a strong word.
I don't hate it.
Dislike everything about
Exactly.
you.
3 Days Grace was a while ago. Now we're talking about Foo Fighters.
Yeah, no, but it's a good song. I mean, it's pretty catchy after you listen to it a few times, and it's one of their hits. So hey, there's nothing against it. Like, what can I say?
She's seething with hatred on the inside.
She's not a big fan of the song, is what I'm feeling.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not bad. I like the expression.
Okay.
I like Monkey Wrench.
I have to say the 1 to 10 part I don't understand. If you can explain the 1 to 10 lyric to me, please. Or maybe he's counting 1 to 10 because he says temper in this one. Is this one where he goes temper, temper, temper?
Temper. Dun, dun,
It's
dun,
this
dun,
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I get it now.
What's the 1 to 10?
Because he's trying to keep his cool because he's mad at the lady and, you got to count to 10 to, like, stay in control. I just clicked. And
I thought it was 1 in 10.
Or maybe.
1 in 10.
Is it 1 in 10?
1 in 10.
If it's that. Anyway, if you have thoughts here, because I could ramble on and give theories, but I'm curious because I thought about that for a minute. What'd you give it?
4.
Not a 3.5?
No.
Not a 3?
I give
No.
it a 5.
Not a 2?
It's a 5 to me. It's one of those energies that I really dig. I can't say I want to bump it every day, but I can tell you that it comes on and it lights up my day a little bit when I hear it. And, hey, Jonny Park! Exclamation point. The undercover. I like the riff. That, like, I don't know. There's something about it. It's just so different than the last song, right? And I think that's a part of this album
Catchy.
that I really am drawn to. There's a fun story about why it's called Hey Jonny Park from Davy G himself. I don't know if it's fun, but he had a friend when he was young. He used to call him Jonny Park, and then when they stopped talking when they grew up. So he wondered if he would name a song after this moment of being called that. Would this friend call him up? And I wonder if that friend did call him up. But Syd, how do you feel about this song?
I am rather indifferent to this song. It's fine. Like the riffs are a little bit boring for me. There's nothing that really catches. Obviously, Davy G's vocal delivery. You call him Davy G, and I picked it up.
It's so
his vocal delivery is always top notch, and it's always going to be. And like the way that he layers it in the chorus, na 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 na, like it's cool. But for me, there's no real hook. So, I mean, this one is a 3.8 for me.
A 3.8?
3.8.
Ooh.
I give it a 4. I mean, it's a good song. And, I mean, it's different. It's different than the last one, so I think it's a cool... I'm back to my... It's different. It is. I don't know. I liked it.
At least she's not giving and everything a 4.
I found it catchy. I like the chorus, unlike you. So...
It's fine.
It was good. It was a good song.
Okay. I like the lyrics. They're really random. And
bruises.
Yeah, but like, come on, I'll take you under this beautiful bruises colors. Everything fades in time, it's true. Wish that I had another stab at the undercover. Was it a change in mind for you? Like, having gone through a couple breakups and shit in my life, it's like, he's kind of describing that healing process in this, like, that point where you're super pensive and you're reflective, and maybe you meet somebody and, like, you're just trying to open up for a quick second, and I feel like he captured the essence of that really well on this song. Like, it's impossible, I can't let it out, you'll never know, am I selling you out, sit and watch your every mood.
Ooh.
Like, when you're, like, insecure and you're, like, you don't feel like a person or anything, is always how I took it from that. I thought it was fucking interesting. It's like, I suppose I'm a sucker for albums that adequately express pain and confusion and then can kind of have some growth that goes along with it, which this album kind of documents. So if you look at it, you go from that insecurity to the explosive anger to almost like you've let out all that rage and stuff, and now you're a little bit trying to find a little acceptance in your life and like maybe feel again and whatnot. And I kind of like how, although the songs are drastically different, they all do feel like they belong together, but do take you on this almost emotional journey that goes through it. I like this one a little bit less because it feels a little experimental. It feels like they're doing a lot of cool things, and individually they're all cool things, but the way they flow together is not totally my favorite. So I give it a 4.25. And then it's My Poor Brain. So I was playing Skyrim earlier, listening to the album, and I can tell you this is good Skyrim music. I can't describe why, but when that chorus comes out and you're having some fights with some bandits and shit, and he's like, "This is a blackout," blast him with fire.
I can't picture
to
it.
Go away, blast him with more fire.
Yeah, I can also picture this being like a perfect FPS soundtrack.
Anyway,
Person
Christen,
shooter.
did you feel this one was different? Did you like this one?
This one was different.
It's catchy.
I liked it. I liked how it started off. It's like, it's really, My Poor Brain is really confusing and weird and cool.
Because there's that melange of sounds at the
The
beginning.
melange, exactly. The melange.
Melange.
The melange of sounds and the hook. This is a blackout, you're right. I mean, kind of like falsettos, some things.
Does he go falsetto?
In the verses, I believe he does.
Okay.
So you
I
really just feel like, my poor brain.
You're right, eh? Because there's that complete contrast
Yeah.
between the calmness of the verses, the intensity of the chorus.
And it is very like 90s alt rock the way that it's structured, but it's
Cool.
it is cool. I mean, but I feel like this one, even though it's quieter in moments, it has a lot more energy than the last song. Yeah, and thematically it just works better. The chorus is huge. It's almost an anthem. This is a blackout. Like
It's a good hook.
It's a good hook. I really like this track. This one is another 4.5 for me.
Well, you stole my rating.
Honestly, I'm with you on the 4.5. I mean, thematically the song fits the album too, right?
Yeah.
Like if you consider the story, he is clearly going through the ups and downs and the highs and lows of the emotions that come with a divorce, that bad things happen. Like, Dave was homeless after this divorce, and all sorts of bad stuff was happening in his life. And, well, I mean, he's a superstar, so, I mean, it's not the... Well, I don't think he was, like, a superstar yet. He was a star that was not so super yet at this point.
He wasn't Nirvana, right? Like, he was the drummer, but he was also drummer
of Nirvana.
Yeah, but what I mean is, he was the second drummer of Nirvana, and he was the drummer that Kurt Cobain had gone on record saying that he wanted to kick out. So, like...
Fun.
Yeah, but instead...
Now he's the king of rock and roll.
Which I would say is, honestly, the energy that you're getting off this song. And it's more than just the whole composition or whatever. It's just Dave's energy that he throws through these vocals in a way that few people can throw their energy at you through a track like that. And I think that's cool. But lyrically, it's fine. Like, I mean, it's stuff like sometimes I feel like I'm getting stuck between the handshake and the fuck. You know, that is one of the best ways of saying I'm not really certain if this friends with benefits thing is really a friends with benefits thing. It seems to not be working out, and it's kind of complicated.
Good line.
It is good. Like, you've got me on guard. I've got my head start, my head in your heart, the same in the stars. Like, it's that kind of same jaded, confused, hopeful, beautiful melancholy that comes with a dismal breakup relationship rebounding point.
Yeah.
I do have to say, too, I really like the title of this song. My Poor Brain is a great title for a song.
Agreed.
And if you can pull that off with the song, like, even better.
Especially with the way it starts, she's absolutely right. It's a great start. It is a 4.5 on 5 because like it's not like blow my mind awesome, but it's a really fun and enjoyable listen.
Super fun.
Wind up. Okay, so this one has a whole point to it. Dave Grohl is a confused guy at this point in his life. So it is both about music journalists and musicians, and about himself, and about criticizing other people. So it's one of those songs right off the jump.
You definitely looked up the lyrics. You can probably help me with something that I've been confused about for years. And I had the lyric booklet to this album, and I read it. Like, I want you to know that. I read it when I bought this album, and I still can't figure out what is wrong with this animal, like Manimal.
I actually think I understand what he's saying there.
Allow
me to explain. So this song is kind of about how musicians who are kind of antisocial and don't like the limelight whine and complain about their rock star life where they sit around as introverts smoking pot and playing video games like it's the worst thing ever, right?
It's awesome.
Where like and his kind of like attitude is a little bit of like, you know, y'all could just quit or whatever. You don't really appreciate how good you have it. But then on the other hand, it's about the music journalist who kind of target these types of people and brand Dave Grohl at this time as one of these types of musicians, expecting it. So he's kind of just doing a little bit of commentary like, I have a choice between the bat or the belt, fine. Each time I hear about the hand you've been dealt. So he's just like, man, I want to beat you when I read your fucking interview. That is how frustrating your interview is. And I wasn't expecting that from Davey G, so I was quite happy to see that little bit of spunk in him. Spare me
Spunky
confession.
G.
It's confession you sell. Maybe I'll fall behind, but I don't mind because I'll catch up. And then etc. But yeah, as far as that chorus goes, I don't know, did I write it down? Whatever. The part where he's like animal like manimal, I think he's trying to point out that at the end of the day, man is the new animal in the way that these like musicians are treated and documented by like the paparazzis and stuff. So he really just made up the word manimal to like fit the rhyme scheme. Like I said, his rhyming was not at his A+ at this point, but like try and kind of play up on a cutesy little pun. Like it's something you'd expect Lil Wayne to do in a freestyle.
Listen, you'll leave Lil Wayne alone.
Wheezy F baby, and the F is for phenomenal. I'm into Wayne these days. I'm not hating. I just love that lyric.
I'm rare, like Mr. Clean with hair.
But yeah, this song's got some cool shit going on. But what's cool about this song is as it progresses, it's almost like Dave gets this sense of awareness, and he's got lines like, "Farewell, my sweet paramania." So, what is paramania, you may ask? Paramania is the constant and obsession complaining. As like that when you constantly complain.
Oh, like you?
You are indulging, yeah, maybe, in paramania. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really know who was
Me
targeted
never
there, so I
complained.
just glossed over that. Okay, I'm feeling way better about the comment. But I like that he's like, my only promise is that I'll never tell. Keep you at a distance from the things that I felt. I'll bite the bullet, take the beating until I take it back. Anyway, what was I supposed to say? So you get this sense where he's like, he's just like, he almost feels like there's this game that gets involved in it. And it's so interesting to see the king of rock and roll with like everything that he is today having
We're not trying to take the title away from Elvis.
no, in the modern era, the modern king of rock and roll. But like when you look at the guy today and you listen to a song like this, it's just to see how far he's come, especially with the haircuts and the music videos on this album and stuff. He's definitely come a long way, because I love what he looks like now. He looks like a fucking rock god in my opinion. But like in general, in the 90s, he was so goofy. It's my favorite. I really digged it.
He's a
dug
goofy
that.
dude. There's an
Anyway.
interview with Nirvana where they're all really stoned, and it's so fun to watch.
Anyway, 4.5 on 5 for me. It's a great song.
I like this song. Okay,
was catchy.
Oh my god, it was so catchy, and it was, and I like the hope you never see me wind up, but it was to give like, it lived up to its title, and then it gets intense towards the end, and there's like some screaming, and it's cool. So like 4.5.
All right.
You can always tell the real metal fan at the table.
And
There was some screaming in it. Loved it. I like this one a little less than the last one, but a little more than the one that came before it. If that
Cool.
makes sense. I find that the verses are kind of blah, and it's a thing that, you know, they got a little less derivative of Nirvana as their career went on, and it's to be understood. Like, he was in the band, right? So the verses to this one very much sound like a Nirvana verse, but like a B-side Nirvana verse. But the chorus is huge and awesome. So there's kind of that duality going on for me in this song. I give it a
Sure.
4.2.
All right. I hope that the people watching this don't get up in arms. Stan, how do you feel about this song?
Okay, starts off slow, and then it's not slow anymore. Don't you love my descriptions? But it's very reminiscent of the first song. So it's interesting, and like you said, it's probably done on purpose, and I'm pretty sure it is.
I did say that off camera.
He said that off camera, and I'm not crazy about it. I don't like the way it starts, and I don't like the way it continues. But that does not mean that the song itself is not great. We'll give it a 4.
Okay. Moving on. Sydney, how do you feel about this song?
I like it a lot. I love it when songs do this. I love it when they start off feeling all different, then they go and do a whole other different thing, you know, with the descriptions. No, it's super cool, man. It starts all like slow and waltzy, and like, it really feels like a rainy day, which I love. Like, the rain is here, and you, my dear. Like, it's really watery and really, really echoey and rainy. I love that. And then, like, it's almost like he wakes up, and there's this energy that comes in and I fucking love that, man. There's some raw rock and roll energy to this one. This is my favorite song on the record so far. Sorry,
It's okay.
my B. This one is a 5 for me.
All right. So I like this song. It's a good song. I don't think it's quite a 5. For me, it's a bit of a 4.5 on 5. But let's talk about how it starts. So what's really interesting is that verse 1 and verse 2 are the exact same thing lyrically.
Yeah.
And it's one of those few times where I think it really works because of the way the music shifts. So, the rain is here and you, my dear, are still my friend. It's true, the two of us are back as one. I was the one who left you, always coming back. I cannot forget you, now I'm up in arms again. So you have Dave being a little bit flimsy with the lady. So he's having this sad day, and you almost picture like it's like December, and he's sad because it's Christmas, is going to be alone and shit.
Yeah.
So he calls up the girl, and, you know, they start snuggling and stuff. And now it's
Snuggling.
like February 15th or whatever. And he's like, okay, Valentine's Day's done, I'm out. But then the summer comes around,
That's sad.
right? And because that's what he's saying in the verse, right? He bounces out. He's the one who chooses to leave. And then the music like picks up, right? And now he's a bit of a player. And he's kind of applying this kind of women come and go mentality to it all. And you almost feel like it went from being like this honest, broken thing to it's almost like a game in the way the music changes. But he finds the girl again, the second one, and then the third verse, he finds her, and he's all of a sudden he's fucking happy. And my lonely heart, it falls apart for you to mend. I'm the one who left you, whatever. So he finds the girl, and he uses her to like heal in one of those rebounding kind of relationshipy things, and he leaves again is kind of the sense. And you get the feeling that he like wants to treat the girl properly, but he just can't, and he just keeps running and coming back. And the music really kind of helps carry the whole tone of the story, which is again really amazing and really cool. So 4.5 on 5, but not quite like the song that's coming next.
Uh-oh.
My
He's
Hero.
waiting for a pause.
Syd, is your hero also ordinary?
This is a really personal song for me.
Okay.
Without getting too deep into it, a lot of shit with my dad kind of goes along with me using this song as an escape. That whole kind of realizing that your heroes are just ordinary people was a big moment in my life. So, yeah, it's hard for me to be objective with this one. So, for me, it's a 5. But if I were to take a step back, it would probably be a 4.5.
I don't really agree with that.
Because
It's a 5.
it's a 5. It's a 5, and I'll leave it at that.
She might not agree. You might not agree.
Oh no.
But would you
Uh-oh.
believe that the way Dave wrote the song might not be interpreted in the same way as how you interpreted the song, actually. Because Dave's heroes in life are the regular and ordinary people. He never had, like, this famous rock star hero to, like, look up to. So when he goes, "There goes my hero," he's ordinary. And then in the music video, it's like a regular-ass guy rescuing a cat from a burning building and shit. He literally means his heroes in life are like the ordinary, regular people around him who live normal lives. And in that moment, I recognized where the charm of Dave Grohl comes from. Because when you have a rock star who genuinely believes that shit,
Yeah.
now
but
that's some humble.
I think that it might be... Because there's lines like, there goes my hero, leaving all the best. Kudos, my hero. What is
It's
it? The one that's
kudos,
on
my hero, watch him as he goes.
leaving all the best in the middle section, right?
Yeah, but like,
Kudos, my hero, leaving all the best. And it's that imagery of like someone walking away.
I agree, but like, okay, so I think your interpretation of the song is like the main one that I would have taken to had I not heard Dave Grohl literally say what he said.
It's fair. It's fair.
And I'm not saying that you're wrong even, because it is written ambiguously. Too alarming now to talk about. Take your pictures down and shake it out. Truth or consequence, say it around. Use that evidence, race it around. It totally means what I would take it from that. But then Dave said otherwise, and I'm
Sure.
like,
I mean, songs can mean two things, right?
I agree, and I think that's what makes a song like this more of a 5 than other things, is that
Yeah.
it can be interpreted in a multiple ways. Like the way the artist intended the song to be is probably not how most people took it, and the fact that you're able to use it in the way that you did, I think would make Davey G very happy. In fact, you may even be his hero for it because it's so ordinary.
That hurts.
But no, I mean, I'm not hating, but don't the best of them bleed it out while the rest of them peter out. Truth or consequence, say it aloud. Use that evidence, race it around. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's just tired of the way people objectify certain things, and he's just craving some Superman's dead type shit, you know? Because that was, again, about the death of, like, normal and ordinary in the... You
Do
know,
you worry that you're not liked?
I do. That's not so.
Do
We
that
should.
album.
We should do. We could. Well,
We're doing clumsy. Okay.
Maybe we will. Anyway, 5 on 5. Beautiful song.
Until
She
you
hasn't
break.
done the thing.
And the bass intro is so
My
90s.
thing.
It's perfect.
It's cool.
Okay, it's different.
It's catchy.
Guys, it's different. It's catchy. It's important. No, I mean lyrically, I read the lyrics too. I liked it, but the song itself, I'm pretty indifferent to it. Don't hate me. It's 4.
It's okay.
I'll never forgive you.
Oh, good.
I just want to throw in before we go. I think part of it is how much I love this sound of the 90s.
You
Right?
see, I don't.
No, and I think that's part of it.
It is a very specific sound.
Because,
And
like,
again, they grew out of this sound, right? Like, they don't really do this anymore.
well, that's because they don't like repeating themselves, which we'll get to at the very last song we talk about tonight. On that note, Christen, please go on.
That's it.
She got a 4.
All right, so on that note, then I guess I'll see you tonight.
Get me anywhere. I'm getting further from my.
So, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one that the rest of the band was like, Dave, I don't really think we should put this on the album. And Dave said, it's my favorite song of the recording sessions. We're putting this on the album. And boy, oh boy, am I happy that Dave put this on the album, because there's this happy little kind of like feel to the song as you're going through it. It builds up sweetly. It escalates in a way that was almost Beatles-esque, I found, in the way it progresses.
You can see that.
Doesn't it remind you of the first track still a little bit?
Not quite, because the first track kind of has like this slow to like
not
pick it up feel.
not the rhythm, just the
the melody.
the
I can
melody
see a little
itself.
bit.
Yeah, it's like it came back in a different.
But like this is more like maybe
Upbeat.
it's the same notes,
I
but
don't
like it's more
find
upbeat. It's
It's
more
very major. But a lot of this record is very major.
Yeah, I mean it's the '90s, and that's what I
It's
love
also the
about
Foo
it.
Fighters. I mean, they tend to stick more often than not to major keys.
But like, I
Which
mean,
I don't
just the words of this song are so interesting, right? Like these notes are marked "Return to Sender." I'll save this letter for myself. I wish you only knew how good it is to see you. And that's, now you get the sense where he's in the story. He's done his rebounding and stuff. He's moved on. His life's starting to calm down a bit. And what's cool is how, as the story goes on, he gets his shit together, is what we're getting the sense. Now he's like, she sent the letters back. I guess I won't see her. And he's kind of reflecting on it, you know? Like, these steps I take don't get me anywhere. I'm getting further from myself. One thing is always true, how good it is to see you. You know, I'm done resenting you, etc. He's getting like a little bit more self-aware and stuff. This song is just great. It's a 4.75. It's a fun
my
little
Lord.
experience. I really like it.
I like it too. It's really different from the rest of the record. Sorry, I stole your line. But
It is.
it's fun, man. Like it's really fun. I'm really happy he left it on as well.
It's
because
catchy.
it's so understated, right? Like the rest of the record is so like it feels like it has to go heavy when it goes heavy. Like it's almost like by design. But this song doesn't really feel like it has to do that. It can just be light and breezy all the way through, and it's got that like little crowd clapping at the end. I'm like almost that he's playing at a tiny little club and there's like 10 people there and he's sitting on a chair and playing the song. I love it. I can picture it. This song is a 4.5 for me.
There's one thing that I like about it, and it's his vocals in it. I
Okay.
don't know what that thing, what's it called? Those vocal
Singing.
rolls or something. Oh wow, singing. Thanks. No, but I that's like, I don't know, that was something that stood out for me in that song, and it is catchy and it is kind of upbeat, which clearly is not my favorite thing in the world, but I'd give it a 4.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that means she's done, because last time I asked her, it didn't go anywhere. And we'll say that she had enough space on this little section. A fun fact, Dave wanted a song that he could open concerts with that would take advantage of the way European crowds mosh in that unison kind of boppy way that's not quite as violent and aggressive as we do. And if you listen to that pumping bass pedal throughout this song, you can just picture thousands of kids going boop, 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 all at a kind of hopping at once, right? Like just picture it.
I'm just picturing a bunch of Italians going boop 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 like with their mouths like saying it.
And maybe
Oh my God.
that's
like it.
not where I was going, but and yeah, I mean lyrically this song's okay. It's apparently about a movie called Arizona Dream, which is one of Davy G's favorite movies. I mean, I don't understand. It's lines like, I was waiting for something, maybe Flying Machine, that's when I found Lily, the best I've ever seen. Maybe if I'd seen this movie, that would mean something. I don't really know how this fits into anything. All of my normal commentary kind of went out the window. But it really is a short little ditty. Hold on. To quote Syd, normally it comes in, it does its thing, it's hard, it's less than 2.5 minutes, so it works. And it just progressively gets more intense, really a little bit more screamy. And you can tell that he really just made this song to open concerts with in hindsight. Like, it really just feels like that. Might have even been a cool way to start the album. Maybe not.
Maybe.
Anyway, I give it a 4.25. It's enjoyable, but I do feel it lacks a little bit of the charm and the depth of some of the other songs on this project.
I like the bass line. I don't remember any of the rest of the song, and we literally just listened to it. So that's how I feel about this one. It's a 4.
But guys, it's different.
Okay.
Catchy.
No, it is. I like how it starts off really heavy.
She likes that they're screaming.
Yeah, that too. I don't know. I liked it. It was a good song. I liked the chorus, and I gave it like a 4 here for your sake. 4.3.
4.3.
For my sake?
So you can
It's
stop
apparently-
getting mad at me.
Okay, anyway, I don't know what that meant. February Stars is the next song on this project. It's just one of those songs where you got the lighter going the whole way through because it's the 90s and people didn't use cell phones yet.
It is power ballad.
It is so beautiful to me. I don't know. I was such a sucker for this one.
It just feels like one of those, that slow song on the album.
It is power ballad.
Exactly.
See.
So I'm getting the feeling y'all didn't like this one.
I think I like it more than she did.
There's nothing to dislike. Like, it's not like, oh my god, this song, I can't hear it. It's more like it wasn't something that stood out that I would want to, like, oh my god, I remember that, I want to go back to it. It was a good song, but I personally was not crazy about it.
That's
So you give it a
okay.
4.
I mean, the harmonies are really nice. Like, really nice. Like, better than almost any harmonies that have been on the album so far. It does what a power ballad is supposed to do. It starts off real slow, gets real heavy, but real emotional towards the end. February Stars, November Rain. You know what they do.
Okay.
It's not reinventing any wheels, but it's also it's not a bad song. It is a good song. It's a 4.5 for me.
This song is beautiful. I sat there with my headphones on and this serenaded me. Now, one thing that's worth noting is it's fucking quiet compared to the rest of the album, so I don't know. If you have shitty headphones or whatever, I could see how some of the nuances of the way this song is layered
Oops.
may not actually be picked up. My headphones picked up the nuances, and I just sat there in this lovely little sphere as he's coming in and he's singing us all morosely, like I'm hanging on here until I'm gone, right where I belong, just hanging on, even though I watched you come and go. How was I to know you'd steal the show? It's just, again,
How
this-
is he to know?
it's not like the most
How
crazy, like insane poetry per se, but it is right up there with that honest, still kind of reflective, pensive Dave that we've been dealing with. And
Crazy
then
insane?
it just kind of like
Insane crazy?
picks up and
When
it,
I say Hussein?
okay,
You say
okay.
Davey?
Are you
Okay,
done?
Thanks, Syd. And then it just kind of like picks up progressively, and then each verse kind of adds more layers. And it is almost typical in its structure, but I don't know that they were really trying to reinvent the wheel on this album. I think they were trying to make great music that's like, I feel like at this point you're getting the sense that almost every song is a challenge to do some unique thing that they didn't do already on the album, but that still sounds better than what other people could be dropping. So they're the kinds of guys that might jack your flow, but they'll do it better than you, and then they'll be the guys who are known for jacking your flow and making like how Migos stole the Lord Infamous flow, and now it's the Migos flow. So that's kind of like what Davey G does, and he's really good at it. So I'm not saying that he jacked all the flows. I'm not trying to be that guy. That's all I'm saying.
Flash. That's my
Anyway.
Migos impression.
At the end of the day, I really enjoyed this one. I gave it a 5. I felt like it really builds up well. It's really well placed on the album after some of the intensity that we have, and it really serves its role well as a bridge before one of the greatest songs ever written in the history of music, Everlong.
Come down and waste away.
2 years ago.
So this song was on Rock Band 2 or something, and I fell in love with the Foo Fighters playing drums along to this song. That's when it happened for me. And then I listened to these words. How could you not feel something belting out if everything could ever feel this real forever? If everything could ever be this good again? It's the only thing I ever ask of you. It's got to promise not to stop when I say when she sang. She sang? Yeah, then it gets a little weird, and I'm not 100%
That's
sure what he's
confusing.
talking about. But
Hello, I've waited here for you
I know.
Everlong.
tonight I throw
Like-
myself into...
So poetic.
You know what? Look,
You can make fun.
Everlong. No, I'm not. I love this song.
listen, it's like, you got to understand the context. The Foo Fighters were about to break up. No bullshit. And Davey G bounces out, and they take a little hiatus from recording this album. Nobody's really satisfied. And considering they ended up replacing most of the band before they moved on, they were not in the best place. He went home. He recorded and wrote this shit. He wrote this in 45 minutes. Came back. He had this, and it's the song that saved the Foo Fighters because everybody could tell that this was something magical.
Yeah.
So it's one of the few that are only written by Dave. And my word, the way he sings that at the end, and I wonder, and when he just like belts into that last chorus of just passion, you feel everything Dave was feeling in that moment, kind of remembering this relationship that is no more, wanting that feeling to just come back. Could he ever get it again? Is it ever? It is. I mean, come on, it's flawless.
I'm not going to say anything bad about this song.
This song's a 5.
The only bad thing that I can say about this song is that the rest of this record almost doesn't deserve this song. Like, this song is so leaps and bounds and jumps ahead of almost everything else. For me, on this record.
It's a hit for a reason.
This might be one of my top 10 favorite 90s songs.
This is an amazing song. Like, point for point, compositionally, lyrically, everything about this song is so well done. It's the production is great, and the production still stands up today, which is impressive because a lot of songs produced in the 90s sound like they were produced in the 90s. Yeah. This one could have been released today and would have fit right into the modern zeitgeist.
It's so timeless. Well, I could go on forever.
I could go on forever too.
When I saw this was on that album, when I checked the track list, I just agreed to do it in that moment. Anyway, Christen, how do you feel?
I recognized it, and like you were saying, right, you're like, I guess you didn't grow up on this stuff, and no, I didn't. But I've heard this on the radio.
But it's not major.
Oh my God, it's not. I've heard this on the radio many times, and I Shazammed it, and that says a lot right there. I Shazammed. Do you know what that is?
I don't think I ever Shazammed. I know what it is. That's the shit.
I use it all the time because I'm too. Yeah, I just don't know things. But
anyway, so she Shazammed the song.
But it's a good song. I just mean exactly 5.
5?
It's a 5.
You got a 5?
Oh my God!
Oh my God! So that's 5s all around for Everlong.
Because Everlong is that good. And now I'm walking after you. This is the song that just followed Everlong. Yeah.
Oops.
It's a little bit, and it's really calm, and it's really slow.
It's the come down, off the high. You're just like, okay.
It's not the most interesting song. Tonight I'm tangled in my blanket of clouds, dreaming aloud. Things just won't do without you. Matter of fact, I'm on your back. If you walk out on me, I'm walking after you. It's nice. Apparently, the X-Files version was harder and more singly, less long, because that's my grievance with this track. It's far too long for what it is. It doesn't have that same level of progression and shit to keep you hooked that some of the other longer ones had. It's just a little lamer than every other song that I've heard on this record so far.
Well, maybe it was a 4. Maybe it was strategically placed, as you said, because of the structure.
But it was in the X-Files movie. They must have really, or whatever, they must have liked this song, is all I'm trying to say. Somebody had
I think Everlong could have closed this record, honestly.
I don't agree with that.
I'm not... The Closer is a great song, but I think Everlong could have closed this record.
Okay, I accept.
And again, I'm coming from a place where, I've listened to this album over and over again in my life. I owned this on CD. It was something that I used to listen to on the way to and from school.
It's not that rare to own CDs.
What?
I mean, it's kind of weird
on a Walkman.
I mean,
that I used to press play on.
Yeah, in 2006, I was still doing that.
I was just sucking them into my laptop.
My laptop doesn't. There's no disk drive in my apartment. There's not one way to play.
Anymore.
Oh, sorry. There's one in the record player that Bonnie has.
Vinyl. But yeah, so I don't remember this song. I'm sorry.
It's just that soft filler track. This is the filler track first filler I've heard on the album.
But the thing is, I know that I like it. I know I like this song.
I know I like it, but I just don't like it.
Is that how you feel too?
I like the title. That's one thing that I like, but that's about it. The rest was just I forgot that it existed.
I'm gonna do what she does. I'm gonna throw a shot in the dark and give this a 4.
It's a 4. It's not a shot in the dark.
I also give it a 4 because it's not poorly composed. I can't call it boring. I can't say it's bad. but I can't say it's as good as anything else I've heard on this project. And it's kind of sandwiched between two songs I really dig. And I guess now we can talk about New Way Home. I've been enthusiastically talking and dominating for a minute. Syd, how do you feel about this album closer that is proceeded? We're going to talk about the bonus track, but how do you feel about this closer?
Yeah. Like the thing about this record is that the songs tend to blend together for me. Like a lot of them sound very samey.
Same. Samey.
Samey.
No, but I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah,
same.
like it's
Okay.
there's a definite
Same.
sound that this record has.
It's beautiful.
It's good.
Great.
The songs that are great, and the rest of them are songs. Like it's just I feel like they hadn't really come into molding each song yet.
That's fair.
And this one suffers from that a little bit, and I don't think that this should have been the closer. I like it. It sounds fun. I love how it speeds up towards the end again, which is a thing that, they've already done on this record a couple times. Fine. But it's a 4.
I didn't like the structure. I found it kind of... This is a weird song. And yeah, it could have closed, like you said, with Everlong or something. But I mean, it's just a 4. It's there.
Okay. This song...
It's different.
This song gave me the same kind of amazing joy in my heart that the Crowing by Coheed and Cambria gave me. With the way it progresses and builds up with the
All right.
explosive end of the song.
I'm glad that the crowing gives you joy.
Look, this is how you close an album to me. It starts off calm, and it's very, like, I've seen a few people do the same move on their closing track, so I think it's a cool, like, way to approach it. I think it's the explosion of freedom, right? And if you look at what the song's like screaming out as it's ending, it's I felt this way on my way home. I'm not scared. I'll pass the boats and then kingdoms. I'm not scared. So he's gone through this whole emotional journey with you, right? And he's going through his things, and he says it the first time, and it's kind of timid. And then as the music picks up, he's getting more confidence in himself, and he says it again. And then by the end, the way he's exploding, it's like a guy who's gone through the whole battle of the whole situation. You're finally free. You're finally seeing the sunshine at the end of the tunnel, the rainbows in the sky and all that shit. And it's just the most explosive. Like, I was listening to it, and it just cascaded these emotions of freedom and power and joy. It was so amazing, in my opinion, at least, because they don't agree, to listen to this shit as it was going up. I mean, the song really feels like overcoming. I'll never tell you the secret I'm holding. I know these things must bore you. I can't find another way. I'll never tell you the secrets I'm holding. I love this leash that holds me when I try to run away. Again, like this self-awareness that isn't present earlier on the album as the story progresses. He's still understanding the various things that he's coping with and dealing with, but the poetry is dope. The way he sings it is great. The way this song is composed is a little jarring. I understand. But to me, it was really well done. It was exactly what I want from this kind of long-ass, explosive closer. I gave this a 5. I love the way this fucking album ends, in theory. It was a great thing. But then there was that extra one that they cut from the project that we're still going to talk about. The Color and the Shape, the title track that didn't make the album.
Wait, I need to tell you, on my camping trip, the thing that woke me up and scared the shit out of me at night was 2 squirrels doing it, like, on the side of the tent.
All right, so I
Not
hope
where
you
I thought that
guys.
story was gonna go.
I hope you guys have cool camping stories like that.
I know, right?
How do y'all feel about this song?
This song is fucking
Different.
awesome. Different. Sorry.
It's pumping.
Like this.
It is.
This is another one with that like classic Nirvana energy, but in a really good way. Like it sounds like had like less production and with a grittier scream. It could have been on Bleach,
Okay.
and I fucking love that because I love that record, and I like this song. And had this record sounded a little more like this, yeah, maybe I would have called it a ripoff. But I think I would have liked it a little more. Having said that, I do like this record. I'm being harsh right now. It's a good record. But I really like this song. I'm a little surprised that it's not the CD closer, because I don't know where I've heard it then. Because like, I thought that I heard it on the CD.
It
Maybe,
was the
whatever.
digital version had it in America.
Fucking digital versions in 1997?
Yeah, it was a thing. Computers. It was a marketing thing. Anyway, Marilyn Manson's Mechanical Animals did a very similar thing where you could unlock a song off of an executable when you put the disc into a computer that you couldn't get without a computer. Anyway, go on.
Nah, 4.5.
And how did you feel?
I liked it. I mean, it was heavy. It was screaming. It was everything I could dream of in a song, and I give it a 4.8. But why didn't make it on the album? Do you know why?
I do know why.
Yeah.
Because they felt like it was, I think the song is called Mr. Eenie Weenie off the first project. And they felt it sounded way too much like that one. And from Dave's point of view, we've done this already. We've already written this song. We've already put it out. I don't want to put out the same song I've already done. And from one thing you can tell is, while they always sound like the Foo Fighters, every album progresses in the direction that they go. And they don't really go backwards. So that kind of stuck with their career. And he felt like, look, we've done it. I'm trying to go forward. Don't want to move in the past. It's a good song, but it's not going to be on the album. It will be on the bonus track. And it's very punky and thrashy. It's got like this heavy feel to it. Lyrically, it's fine. You're a real short ride. Wow, right. I'll beat you up. Anyway, that's right. He says retard a few times, so you can tell it's the 90s, and you can still say retard back then. And it doesn't do a lot for me in terms of whatever. It's the bass though is stellar.
It's great.
Like, this is not a genre where I expect the bass to come out as the standout instrument.
Punk rock?
Honestly, I find it's either the bass is absolutely stellar or it's absolutely boring. And it really depends the band. And when it's stellar, it is beyond stellar. Because not every... you either stick to the guitar roots or your bassist knows what music's about.
I mean, the way I've always seen it. Pop punk, bass doesn't matter. Actual punk, bass is the star.
Because, I don't know. Yeah, but, like, I really dig great bass lines. And this is really what my favorite part of this song is. I give it a 4.25. I feel like it didn't have the same feel as the rest of the project. It's a cool song. It's all right. I'm okay with it as a bonus track. So I guess that's the album. I know there were 6 other bonus tracks released in different projects, but that wasn't on Spotify, so here we are. I gave this album a 4.6. I don't know if it's because I really fucking love that particular era of the 90s sound that much, but I would say this is a classic fucking rock album for its power, for what it brings to the table. Like, when you go back, there's not that many albums in the 90s that you can play in 2018 and find that much enjoyment in without the music feeling completely dated. Because of its transcendental nature, I really dig what this project is. And I really, because when you listen to something like Concrete and Gold and you see the polish on it, and you go back to this and almost see like where they're coming from, and you feel like it's the same band, it's a really cool experience. And it's the same quality of music, and I really dug that.
Is it me next? Is that?
You can go next.
I really feel like some of this record does sound pretty dated, personally. And
That's
but
fine.
the thing is, I've always kind of found that this record, like, for the hype that it gets, a little bit overrated. I love the songs that I love. Monkey Wrench, Everlong, My Hero, classics. I love them. The rest of the record, it's got some fun songs. It's got some energy. It kind of blends together for me. I really do prefer where the Foo Fighters have come. Like, for me, they were always kind of a singles band, like AC/DC. Like, their singles are always great, but the rest of the record is always just kind of there. Whereas on their latest record, I really felt like they finally released a record for me that I can listen to from start to finish that's nearly flawless. So kudos to them. And that's evolution, right? This one is a 4.2 for me.
I would give it a 4.4. I liked it. It was different, no, but it was overall a good album, I think, and I like what you were saying too, how he still like follows a specific structure, and it wasn't just randomly put together. Like, they're a good band, and they get better as time goes along. So
I feel like Dave appreciates how to make an album, and that is something that isn't necessarily there. Like, it may have come off like a singles band, but I don't think he was trying to be, and I feel like
No, I don't think he was trying to be.
And
But that's how it's always felt for me.
which is fair. You're allowed to feel that way. All right, I think that's it. It's hot. It's thunderstorming outside of Montreal. Where are you guys? So thank you all for watching. We really appreciate it. It's awesome that you guys come here and check this out. If you do dig what we do, you can join Mozart, and Liddell Williams as patrons, where they can put in requests, and we have a little raffle where once a month we pick from one of their requests. You get access to the content early. We got more stuff coming soon, so if you support us and want to see better shit happening over here, better quality product, that's a great way to do it. You can subscribe to the channel if you feel it, like the video if you did enjoy it. Always feel free to leave a comment educating us, correcting us, giving your feedback and all that fun stuff.
We like different opinions.
That's true. And we like good stories. So on that note, have yourselves a great week and take care, everyone.
Deuces.